They cannot run, jump, or howl. They have no eyes, ears, or brains. Yet plants are very much alive. They create the air we breathe and the food we eat. Plants bring beauty and life to every corner of the world. Like most plants, the dandelion begins life as a seed, dry and very much asleep. To start growing, any seed needs a wake-up call. Maybe it's the sunlight and warmth of spring, or much-awaited rain, or a brush fire signaling that new space is available. Once it's awake, a plant is thirsty. Roots erupt in the search for water and minerals. Their tips are sensitive to light, temperature, even touch. Above ground, shoots reach out for light. The legendary Green Man of European folklore celebrated plants' essential fertility. Many festivals still mark the rituals of planting and harvesting, like the yearly dance around the maypole, the tree of life. Ancient cultures lived or died by their crops. Each had fertility gods. And celebrations endure: the May Queen, Thanksgiving, and Mardi Gras. The young dandelion reaches for its share of sunlight. The giant sequoia stretches high into the sky, some close to 300 feet. Powerful pumping action draws water to its topmost leaves. Special microphones reveal the sound of water being drawn upwards. Some trees suck up 100 gallons a day. The human urge to cultivate plants is recorded in the Bible, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden. The Bible recounts a Garden of Eden bound by 4 rivers, home to Adam and Eve, beauty and oneness of spirit for a time. Perhaps later gardens yearn to recapture the perfection of Eden. The oldest working gardens are in New Guinea. Bordered by rainforests, they have been cultivated for more than 10,000 years by the native people who still use their prized pigs as plows. During England's Victorian era, walled gardens were grand, designed to provide mountains of produce for large family households daily. Underground water systems irrigated acres of gardens, and elaborate ornamental plantings required armies of gardeners. The desire to garden is universal. We even garden high atop city spires, not quite the hanging gardens of Babylon. Long steeped in magic and myth, plants are nature's conjurers. Even the dandelion, a lowly weed, can change raw chemicals into carbohydrates and proteins. Animals can't do that. Plants use a trick called photosynthesis. Their leaves contain chlorophyll, making them green. They absorb sunlight while microscopic openings breathe in carbon dioxide. With water and other nutrients, the plant converts the sun's energy into glucose, which is the plant's own energy and the basis of all food. Their waste product is oxygen, vital for animal life. We exhale carbon dioxide, essential for photosynthesis, which may be why talking or singing seems to make plants grow. Some plants cheat. Instead of making their own food, they steal it. The dodder, a vampire of the plant world, embraces its victim and uses special suckers to drain its vital juices. Plants have evolved to survive most of what Earth dishes out, even sun-blasted deserts. The saguaro cacti of the American West have tough, leathery skins to keep them watertight. To reduce water loss, their leaves are mere spines, which also help to protect the plant. A saguaro may store a ton of water to survive dry spells, but the water tank can spell danger in a thunderstorm. A lightning strike can instantly boil the plant's water supply. In a rainforest, a plant's challenge is congestion. There's always a neighbor threatening to put an individual in the shade. Smaller plants may have to take their chances in the shadows, or, like air plants, ride to the sky with the trees. Far above the ground, a bromeliad uses its cup-shaped leaves to catch and store rainwater. The leaves also make a nice swimming pool. A mountaintop raises different problems for a plant. The air may be cold, but the sunlight can be too bright. The answer? Leaves with a furry surface act like sunscreen. A leaf may be cloaked in sun protection factor 4, or perhaps factor 24. The hardy dandelion thrives in most parts of the world, but it's as sensitive as any other plant. A sprinkle of rain causes the flower to close. Giant water lilies have buoyancy tanks in their leaves. Their amazingly sturdy pattern of ribs inspired London's Crystal Palace, with a similar system of girders to support the structure's tons of glass. Plants are found in every environment on Earth. Beneath the ocean, plants thrive in relentless waves and salt water. In such conditions, kelp can grow 18 inches in one day. In the Pacific Ocean, there are marine forests as tall and lush as rainforests. It's a secret, twilight world. There are many mysteries and legends about the power of plants. Best known, Jack and the Magical Bean, which when planted grows up to the sky, taking Jack to the kingdom of the giants. The ancient Greeks believed the souls of the dead rested in beans. Legend tells that the mathematician Pythagoras died in a bean field, trapped there by his murderers, afraid to crush the sacred beans underfoot. Plant myths abound. A woman who plants too much lettuce will never marry. Any vampire movie fan knows that garlic is protection from evil spirits and the undead. And a woman who puts an onion under her pillow will dream of her future husband. She'll probably cry a lot, too. Chicory was said to bring invisibility and to cause locked chests to spring open. But beware of basil. According to an ancient French physician, smelling it can cause scorpions to breed in your brain. The longest, most relentless war ever is the one between plants and their insect enemies. Plagues of locusts regularly wipe out crops in Africa and Asia. Swarms of countless millions can destroy a year's supply of food for a small town in just a few hours. Even domestic plants have a tough time. Aphids suck them dry. Caterpillars rip them to pieces. And whole battalions of birds and mammals can hardly wait to devour them. Some attack with more sophisticated weapons than others. but plants have developed weapons of their own to fight back. Our dandelion has gooey latex resin to gum up insects' mouths. It's similar to the stuff tires are made of. During World War II, Russian scientists found a species with enough latex to make rubber parts for tank tracks. By war's end, 250,000 Russian tanks rode on dandelion rubber. The tobacco plant resorts to chemical warfare. It contains nicotine, instant death to insects with no health warning. The stinging nettles artillery consists of thousands of tiny hypodermic syringes which inject burning chemicals. Some plants use more conventional hardware, but no medieval torture chamber boasted such an array of weapons to scratch, pierce, and tear flesh. Even holding an innocent-looking rose can have a price. Legend says that all roses were once white. They became red only after blood was spilled on them. Yet red roses have long been a symbol of love. Roses were sacred to Venus, the Roman goddess of love. In villas strewn with rose petals, the Romans drank rose wine, washed in rose water, and planted rose bushes to thank their gods. The Victorians used an elaborate language of flowers. Red roses meant passion. Yellow, infidelity. A fresh bud for a new love, a full bloom for love on the wane, and white for spiritual love. So in Victorian times, full yellow roses meant goodbye. Insects are normally plant enemies, but plants sometimes hire them as protectors. This acacia is patrolled by an ant security force which readily attacks invaders, even those that are much larger. In return, the ants get a home and food which the tree secretes in the form of an oily substance. Some plants are jokers. The passion flower sprouts dummy eggs to make butterflies lay their very real eggs elsewhere. The dummy eggs never hatch into hungry caterpillars. This tortoise is treading on a plant, the stone plant. Animals are fooled, so they will leave it well alone. A plant's looks were considered symbolic of the illnesses it could cure, according to ancient herbalists. A plant with a twisted root, the pink-flowered bistort, was deemed a cure for snakebite. Chicory with a bright blue flower, which opens when the sun shines, was considered a cure for failing sight. Other notions seem less logical. For instance, a potato in the pocket is an antidote to rheumatism, but only if it's a stolen potato. However, herbal remedies often were and still are effective. The dandelion was a traditional remedy for kidney complaints. It was known to affect the bladder, hence its nickname, Piabed. In fact, a drink made from dandelion leaves can relieve problems of the bladder and kidneys. Native Americans and others chewed the bark of willow trees to cure pain. And it works. The reason? Willow bark contains salicylic acid, the basis of aspirin. Chinese herbalists have spread the practice of holistic medicine far beyond their homeland. We now realize that many folk cures have their roots in solid medical science. Foxglove yields the drug digitalis, still used to treat heart disease. Animals use the healing qualities of plants. Chimpanzees are known to seek out plants as medicines for themselves and their young. And new medical discoveries continue to be made. A species of periwinkle may be a breakthrough in treating leukemia. Plants can perform miracles of life, or they can spell sudden death. For a pitcher plant, a silent trap makes for a great offense. When the plant needs to supplement its diet with insects, it stands ready to lure them in with color and nectar. But this is no flower, it's a death trap. The nectar is drugged, so groggy insects fall straight into the slippery pitcher. There is no escape, just an acid bath of digestive juices. This granddad of pitcher plants has been known to devour rats. And this carnivorous plant, the Venus flytrap, led some to believe that it came from outer space. An insect touches the plant's tiny trigger hairs at its peril. But brushing the hair once doesn't close the trap. It takes at least 2 strokes. Springtime, the countryside comes alive. Flowers start putting on a show.